What brings millions of people to Music City? Well, a lot of them come our way to learn more about our town's storied musical history, but they also come to hear what sounds are being made right here, right now. A well-rounded Nashville visit will scratch both of those itches, and it will definitely include a stop where these two streets meet. That purple building on the left side of Broadway is perhaps Nashville's most famous bar, Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. It opened in 1960 and was the watering hole of choice for Willie Nelson and other country legends in the making. You see that skyscraper peeking out over Tootsie's? Its official name is the AT&T Tower, but everyone in Nashville calls it the Batman Building. I think you can figure out why. We're on the edge of Lower Broadway. Nashville's famed stretch of honky-tonks begins the intersection of Broadway and Fifth Avenue. They now sit in the shadow of the massive Bridgestone Arena, home to the Nashville Predators hockey team and dozens of huge concerts each year. The aptly named Legends Corner kicks off this densely packed row of honky-tonks. On this same block, you'll find Tootsie's, The Second Fiddle, Layla's Bluegrass Inn, Robert's Western World, and The Stage on Broadway. Live music spills out of each of their doors at nearly all hours of the day, from mid-morning to last call. For more than 90 years, the Grand Ole Opry has brought the sound of Music City to the masses. The world-famous radio program has drawn millions to Nashville to see the show in person at the Grand Ole Opry House. The backstage area is an attraction all its own, too. Since each Opry show features tons of country stars, it calls for quite a few dressing rooms, 18 to be exact. Each is uniquely decorated and themed, and a few are dedicated to specific country legends. This purple room, of course, is dedicated to the late, great Porter Wagoner, an Opry star famed for his rhinestone suits, pompadour, and a fruitful musical partnership with Dolly Parton. Wagoner was an Opry staple for 50 years until his death in 2007. Now we're in Chris Jansen's dressing room. Chris is the guy in the gold Larry Gatlin baseball jacket. He and his friends are in the dressing room of one of the Opry's most beloved entertainers, Little Jimmy Dickens. The late country singer made his Opry debut in 1948. And for decades he entertained guests both on stage and off. His dressing room was an essential stop for Opry performers. The Grand Ole Opry is the longest-running radio program in the world, and the concerts are broadcast live. That means the performers have to take the stage quickly during commercial breaks and other announcements. That's WSM radio host Bill Cody at the podium. The Opry left its former home, the Ryman Auditorium, for the Opry House in 1974. A sold-out show can pack in roughly 4,400 country music fans. Country music's greatest artists are immortalized and celebrated at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. Since 1961, the hall has inducted more than 120 members, and each has its own plaque in the museum rotunda. The surrounding message, "Will the Circle Be Unbroken?" is in reference to the hymn and country standard of the same name, made famous by the Carter family. Dolly Parton, Tony Bennett, Willie Nelson, the Oak Ridge Boys, Miranda Lambert, Keith Urban, they're just a few of the greats who've recorded at RCA Victor Studio A. It's among the most historic spots in the district of recording studios and publishing companies known as Music Row. And this history was almost wiped off the earth a few years back when the building was nearly demolished to make way for new development. Instead, a group of preservationists purchased the building, and in 2016, its longtime tenant Ben Folds passed the studio reins over to Dave Cobb. RCA Studio B has been called one of the cradles of the Nashville sound. Elvis Presley recorded more than 260 songs here, and Eddie Arnold, Waylon Jennings, Bobby Bare, Dolly Parton, Jim Reeves, Willie Nelson, and Floyd Kramer are just a few who've made hits in this space. These days, it's a must-see tourist attraction, and also an educational space for local middle and high school students.